Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is DRNKY, Dinky the Dinkinator, the Mover and the Shaker. I'm the Vibe Creator, Terminator, Master of Distraction, and welcome to Dinky Bliss Loudness. If it's your first time clicking any of my videos, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button and also the notification bell so that you will be notified and when a new video has been uploaded, whether you be lifestyle, opportunities, an interview, or basically a story time, as this is a story time that I would like to share with everybody on this Sunday evening. Is it evening? Afternoon. Yeah, on this Sunday afternoon, I would just like to share a story time with you. I will be having my lunch. It's nothing fancy or nothing good, because like I feel like I am the worst cook in the world. But when you are all by yourself, you might as well just udle ipotsa yakho. So I would like to tell you a story about the time when I was doing the thing and something happened that actually embarrassed me so badly, to an extent that right now it's a joke and we talk about it and we laugh about it all the time, right? Okay. Not bad, but it's horrible. It's weird. It's just rice and stew and like what do you call that? Is it salsa? I think it's salsa. So when I was in school, I was the most cutest kid. There's my photo, this side of the side. There's my photo on the screen. This is me in high school. I don't think I've changed that much. It's just that I've matured, right? So I was in this Afrikaans school called Hoërskool Wessel Marie, whereby there was just a small number of kids that were black, like myself, right? My mother was working in Ernest Oppenheimer. This is like Free State now. I'm not talking Durban, where I'm from, or Joburg, where I am. I'm talking about like where I was raised, where I spent like half of my life in, and that is like the Free State. So being in the Free State is good. Now we speak Sesotho. You even forget about your culture, your own culture. You think that you're Sotho because you're among other Sotho speaking people. So my mother was working in Welkom, in a city called Welkom, and we were living in Allen Reach. Allen Reach is like a small place just next to Woodendal's Rest in the Free State. Okay, fine, all well and good. So now, as I was in that school, I remember that time I was doing grade 10, which is standard 8 for some people. And when I started being in that school, there was this old guy, old grandpa, who used to transport us as school kids from home to school, from school to home. And I think I was the only black child in that kumbi, in that taxi. So I eventually grew out of this taxi because like he never went back. When he dropped us, he would like park the taxi there and chill from 7 o'clock up until 2 in the afternoon. So imagine you having to wait for school kids to come out, like after school. You have been there for the longest time. So immediately when the bell rings, he will start his car, and all that he wants to do is to leave, because he has been practically there since morning till afternoon. You understand what I'm saying? So he would be exhausted to even wait for me or wait for anybody. It wouldn't matter if you are not there within like 10 minutes after the bell has rung. He will leave you. And it used to be havoc for me, because I wanted to do sports. I wanted to engage in other things that were extramural activities of the school, but I couldn't because of this guy. So I informed my mom and I told my mom that, listen, I'm not interested in this guy anymore. Rather, I take a taxi, a normal taxi every day. I think the taxi was like 8 rand at that time. Let me take 8 rand, and 8 rand is 16 rand every day. Let me take a taxi on a daily basis. I'll take the taxi in the morning, and I'll also take a taxi in the afternoon. So I had these they were these other school kids that were also black, and some of them were also taking like different forms of transportation. Some were going to Valcom, some were going to X and YZ like Bronville, and I was literally going to Woodendale's Race. So it was me, this other girl, I will not we will name her, let's name her Lerato. So it was me and Lerato that were going to the same place. So, but we would walk together after school. You know, like those girls that are in the school, like everybody wishes so much to be in that school, but because there was another high school called Eldoret at that time. So like the kids in Eldoret would look on us as if like, okay, you guys think you're so white and all those things, and we carried that with us, you know. We carried that because like after school we still look neat and tidy, prim and proper. We're still in our blazers, you know. It's either we're speaking in Afrikaans or we're speaking in English, and that's on period, darling. So like you would be like, even older people who had kids would wish like for their kids to be in the same school, because like we made the vibes. We were not those kids who were corrupt, swearing and doing all these other things after school. We wait for each other. When the bell rings, there was the place, you jump off the street, and then we would wait for each other, and when we see, okay, where's another one, okay, she's here, then we walk to the taxi rank, all of us. So normally we would go to this shop where they sell ice, snacks and whatever, and that's when we would have our own time where we talk about things. And then when we get to the rank, we would just stand there for like maybe 10 minutes of our precious time, and then everybody just goes to their directions as far as their taxis are lined up depending on where they're going. So that's how I left that taxi, and I started using like the normal taxi where you pay on a daily basis, because like I was heartful of that Madala. That Madala was just abusing me. I couldn't be part of an extramural activity. So I was a hockey girl. There was a lot of extramural things like chess, choir, tennis, netball, you know, cricket, rugby, you know, there was a whole lot of things, and I chose hockey. So I was playing hockey, and me having to change the form of transportation helped me because I could do all the extramural activities. And now look at us, we're holding like our hockey bags with our little socks and our cute little dresses that we practice with, and we're just doing our thing after school, going home after we played and stuff like that. And everybody be looking at us and be like, whoa, who are these kids? Darling, I was one of those kids. Okay, well and good. So there was this particular day that there was no sports, there was no extramural activity. So me and Lerato, that's what we're gonna call her, left. We were going home since we used the same taxi, and then she jumps off like maybe 2 minutes before me. So we are literally going to the same place, it's just different sections. So fine, we used to love to sit in front and count the money. So we used to sit in front and count the money. So when we get to a taxi rank and we find out that there is somebody already occupying the seat, right? If we go there and we find out that somebody is already occupying the seat, we would wait so that there will be a new taxi that's gonna load, right? We'd be talking and chatting about everything, basically our relationships, whatever that will come at that time, we'll talk about it. So I remember now there was like this thing like a pavement, which is like higher. It makes you look like you are on a stage, because this is the road where the taxis drive. So a taxi will not hit you when you're on top of that pavement. And for you to go to other taxis, you need to jump off that pavement and go and stand on your cube. So we decided, let's not stand on this pavement right now. We like drawing too much attention. I don't know why people are looking at us. Let's go next to the taxi that's gonna load. So we jump the road, and then we go to the other side. So when we go to the other side, there's this cute guy in a taxi, and I'm busy talking too much. I'm doing the most. I'm talking a lot, like non-stop, like just like how I'm doing now, because if I was not a talker, I wouldn't be doing the story time, right? So now this guy is eyeing me, and he's sitting with another guy at the back seat, his friend. They're both cute, but this one that is interested in me is cute. He's very cute. So now Lerato is like, hey, Dinky, Babu Alue, and they're like talking to you right there. And I check, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, what? And mind you, the taxi is about to leave, because they are already inside the taxi. It's the one that we were supposed to hop on, but the fact that somebody has already sat on the front seat, we are waiting for another one to come and load. The driver opens the door for him to go and sit and start the car, and he's like, number, and I'm like, dude, ungumxhosa. On top of that, ungumxhosa. And he's like, please write me your number. So I'm shouting at my friend Leonardo, like, pen, it's a pen. And then we stumble around and we're looking for a pen, and I write my numbers down. I was using a Sony at that time. I was a cool kid. My mother tried, but it's and then I write the number, and I give him the piece of paper. And he's from PE. Happy, you must know that when you are used to Sutu people, the other one is like, oh, whenever somebody speaks another language, it is so relaxing. I was super excited. I was actually super excited, and I couldn't wait for this taxi to load up, finish up. Let's go, so that I'll be at home, so that when this guy calls, I'm at the comfort of my own home. He was cute. I don't know now, but I did check him on Facebook. He's okay. The chili in this food is too much. Okay. Perfect. So I went home, did my daily chores, changed my uniform, washed my socks and my shirt. The whole thing that you do as a student, as a school kid. And fine, now I'm waiting for his call. And then he calls me and he's like, listen, I liked you. Where do you live? I'm like, I live in Island Reach. That is why I was standing at the same place as you. It's like, which section? I tell him which section. Is like, can I see you? And I'm like, just make sure that you do it fast enough, because if my mother comes and I'm not in the house or whatever, it's going to be bad. Please make sure that you come as quickly as possible, right? And I'll tell him and I give him the house number. Like, jiggy. After 15 minutes, he comes and he's like, I'm outside. Oh. And it was during those times when guys used to plait their hair, like the R. Kelly style. I used to, man, like he was yellow. like you would assume he's a colored or something, you know. So he comes there and then he gives me this hug. I'm a student, for heaven's sake. I'm not yet exposed to this dating thing. But because I'm growing, I'm already developing such feelings, like when somebody touches you. Ooh, damn, yeah, and bambe man, and it is the hug, and the hug. Yakreba nezinganyana yabona njena with my cute little bums and bambe qonba yuchini able to undenza ntoni kule after school enga andina homework isibhedlela pha isikhwameni ukuyabo. So so like he said, let's take a walk, and then we took a walk, and then he bought me some snacks, and then we're talking. He's like, tell me about yourself. I'm like basically telling him that, yeah, my name is Dinky and I live here and I'm from this school, I'm doing grade 10, this, that, whatnot and whatnot. And he was like a bit older than me. Yeah, he was a bit older than me because he was working at Target. He was working at Target Mine at that time. God, don't come for me. He was working at Target Mine, and it was only cute guys that were employed in that mine. I don't know why, like cute guys. So he worked at Target Mine, and he told me about himself. He's from PE, but he came here for a job and blah 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 blah. He stays with his brothers. They are renting a house somewhere around the corner. It's not even far from where I live. And I was like, okay, not a problem. So now he started fetching me from school, you know. Every day after school he would hold my bag. It was a romantic, cute couple, man, of some sort, because he was still young. It's just that he finished school and he started working, you know. He was so lucky to get a job so quickly. Okay, other than that, not a problem. Then what happened is that we kept on doing the same thing and the same thing over and over again, whereby he would rather, because like his shift was he was doing night shift. So it was easier for him to go to my school to go and fetch me, because him going to my school to fetch me would give us so much time to spend together. Because my mother, when I'm in the yard, I should be in the yard. I do not have friends after school, and that's the kind of life that my mother gave me. My mother would even want us to lock the gate during the day, like day broad light. We need to lock the gate. So I didn't have friends. It's not like I didn't want to have friends, but because of my mother's rules, I had to like listen and be a child. And I was like, okay, no, it's not a problem, I'll be at home. So him fetching me from school and taking me home was like the best thing that could ever happen, because like we would spend time, because all the time that I used to spend with my friends, having to chat, going to shops and whatever before we go to a taxi, I would spend it with him. So my friends would be like walking maybe in front of us, like maybe a kilometer in front of us, and not even a kilometer. A kilometer is long, like just a space, man, a short distance of space, and we'd be walking at the back. And now from me having all these funny little snacks like the ice pop and those chips where they normally put in a plastic bag and wrap and sell for 2 rand or 1 rand, whatever the case is, I was no longer the girl. Body lazy, your Doritos were now your Pringles. I was the girl now. I have upgraded, like I have leveled up. So this one day we came out too early, and I told him, like on Mixit, I sent him a text on Mixit, and I was, hi babe, the principal just made an announcement on the intercom that the school will be out very soonest, and it's around, like it's close to 10 o'clock. I don't know what happened, but the principal just said everybody can go home, but we need to be at school tomorrow. So don't come at your normal time. As a matter of fact, don't come. And he said, okay, no problem. You know what you need to do? Just get a taxi now and jump off at my street. I'm wearing my uniform. So I jump off I do exactly as he tells me. So I do exactly as he tells me, now. I get into the taxi and then I jump off at his side of the thingy section. And we're chatting on Mixit at that time. And I tell him that I'm about to jump off, and he's like, no, I'm at the stop. And I'm like, oh, I can see you. So I shout in the taxi, you know, I need to jump off at the next corner, like short left, and the driver stops, and then he's there. He takes my bag, and we are going to his house. I low-key knew exactly what was going to happen there, but in other stances, I thought like maybe he just wanted us to spend time together, you know. So it was a bit uncomfortable. It's not like now when a guy calls you to their house, you already know that you are delivering a cookie. Period. This is how it works in South Africa. But at that time, I was still a school kid, so I assumed the positivity out of the whole situation. I was not thinking anything like sex, you know, any adultery. I was thinking, okay, we're gonna watch Dragon Ball Z and SpongeBob together. So, in a sense, we sat, and there's nothing really that you're gonna talk about with a school kid, like something like maintaining the future and whatsoever. I mean, that child is probably having stress about Meneer Kasselman with his accounting, rekeningkunde, you know, like there's nothing very productive that can be spoken when you are dating a school kid. Like, hello child, you just need to complain about her complaining about her mother washing the dishes and all those things. And I could see and sense that he was starting to get bored now. So not a problem. He grabbed me, he said I must come closer. I came closer, and when I come closer, and remember, I'm no longer the girl at that time, because there was a guy from the village where the side of my mother's side that took the girl. So I was no longer a girl at that time. God, he was like gonna be the second guy after the guy. Oh my goodness. Anyways, guys, you know what I'm saying, because like, hey, I'm feeling some type of way right now. Anyways, so he grabbed me closer towards him and he kissed me. So I've been told that I'm a good kisser. At that time, around those times, I was told that I'm a good kisser. You know, I know the whole etiquette of kissing. So I had carried that compliment with me. It was like in my head. So I kissed him. We kissed, and because of how my girl was taken away from me, it wasn't as much of romance. It was literally like, I'm gonna teach you how it's done, open your leg. So I was not that girl that would be into the mode of wanting it and whatever, because like it was the only time that he took it and the only time he ever even saw me naked ever again, because like I had to dump him. He was just not the guy for me. He was the guy of the season. If you know those guys that know how to play. Anyways, it's a story of another day. I mean, like the guy, the first guy that took my girl. Okay, fine. So he stood up and then he pulled me. You know when he pulls you, he stands in front of you and he pulls you, and then he turned me around and then he held me on my tummy like this, and he's now taking me to the bedroom. So when what the hell am I going to do? I'm so worried. What am I going to do? What are we going to do here? So he took me to the bed and he started kissing me again, all over again, and I could see that there on the zip side it's already wet. There is a mark. It's wet. I'm like, yo, did you pee on yourself? Because like I'm not yet educated with these things, that there is something called semen, whatever. I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he took off my pants. Imagine a school kid. There's school shoes, socks. We never wore skirts. A few of the girls wore skirts in school. We wore trousers. There's a trouser, there's a shirt, there's a tie. You need to take all of those things out. And now he's like, oh shucks, the condom. And it's there. And as a school kid, like really, I'm seeing this thing. It's not like now, since it's clearly 11, we now used to it. Like, hello. You could literally walk in the street with it. I wouldn't mind. But back then it was a big deal. Like, hey, I've grown to an extent that I can see this thing. Hey. So this guy goes to the other room of his brother and he collects some condoms. What? But you don't even know what you're doing because like your legs are already opened. It's so uncomfortable, guys. Your legs are already opened like this. You're just waiting for the guy to come and penetrate. So he came and he was like, do you want to put it on? I have no clue of how it's used and stuff. And I'm like, okay, as long as you teach me in the process. He's like, okay, take it slow, kiss me. And I'm like kissing him. He's like, yeah, be playing with it. This is like, it's a foreign situation for me. And I'm playing with it and he's like, just roll it down. And it's hard. So I roll it down, I do exactly as he say, and then he just, because like I was like on top, I was like he made me sit on top of him, you know, like a girl that's gonna do a girl on top. So he made me sit on top of him, and at the time now when I am done with the condom, he takes me and then he puts me on the side of the bed, and then he just opened my legs. Then he starts kissing me, looking at me on the forehead, kissing me on the forehead, and then he put, and it's still tight. I still feel like a V because like that thing happened once, you know? It happened once and I came back from holiday. Now it's still fresh. So he then came inside, as far as like his thing, he penetrated. And he stroked and I'm not feeling anything but pain, to be honest with you. Anything but pain. That's exactly what I was feeling. I didn't understand what Brooke on The Bold and the Beautiful was enjoying too when she was doing all these you know, because like I used to watch a lot of The Bold and the Beautiful, and I actually thought that sex was the most romantic thing that a girl could ever experience because of Brooke. She made it look so sexy. Maybe it's because at that time I was not used to sex. Let's put it like that. So this Xhosa guy was a lover. Now that I understand, he was not rough. He was a guy that would make love to you, made you feel like a supernatural woman that you are. That's how he would make you feel. Yeah, make you feel like a supernatural woman that you are, and make you feel wanted and needed and stuff. Now, because I'm a school kid, Vele, there's nothing new. There's nothing hectic towards this situation. Like a working girl who has experience would be like, oh, you're good with it, or you're not good with it, you're bad. So he did it, and we did it like a couple of times all the time after school, because like I knew that if my mother would come back and she wouldn't find me in the house, I was going to get beaten. So every day after school, when it's like those sports days and it's like nobody's watching at school, you're supposed to be supporting the rugby team, I would sneak out and go home, you know, and go and give it to him. Wow! There's something in my teeth. It's very uncomfortable. So anyways, right. So I found out that he's cheating on me. And the girl that is cheating on me also found out that he is cheating on her. Because when I met him, he said like he's single, he doesn't have a girlfriend, wara wara wara. His girlfriend was in PE, he left his girlfriend there. He did not mention this girl. And even on this girl, he didn't mention the same story. And how it happened is, there's a time that I was walking him to his house, and then the mother of that girl knew this boy was dating her daughter. And when the daughter came back from school, the mother was not working. The mother told the daughter that I saw your man with another girl. She's in so and so school. And mind you, this girl was in the school that I used to be when I was in grade 8, and I know her, just that I don't know her name. So this girl used to write her name on the mattress, and funny enough, her name is the same name as mine, like Retabile. So I used to think that my boyfriend is so crazy over me, to an extent that he even writes my name on his mattress, on the wall. She still had that child mentality of drawing everything on the wall. It was Retabile and I was Retabile. So he was messing with girls that shared the same name, that answered the same name. So one of the days, while I was with him, I was plaiting his hair. This girl came, and then he was like, "Can I talk to you?" And he was like, can you excuse me? And I said, no problem. And they had a fight just in front of me, and she wouldn't beat me, because like everybody knew who my mother was. Touch me and it's gonna be fire. Touch me and it's gonna be fire. So she's like, I think I know you. I'm like, I know you too. You were in Unitas, right? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I was also you are in Unitas rather, but I was in Unitas when I was doing grade 8. Now I'm here at Vessel Marais. When did you meet this guy? I tell him, it's like, oh, okay. I didn't know that he was dating you, because like he said that he doesn't have a girlfriend or whatever. And I'm like, the same situation applies. And at that time, I left his head the way it was. While I was plaiting it, I left it as it was. I was so pissed. At the end of the day, I also love him. I also want him. I need him. And with me, the situation is difficult, because now you cannot be in love with a person that always keeps on telling you about their mother. And this girlfriend, she was easy to get access of, because her mother knew that she was dating this guy. So it was easy for this guy to go and collect her by her house, and then they would go. But with me, when my mother is back, you're not gonna call me, you're not gonna do anything. So for me, I was not easily accessible for him. So I felt like he chose the girl whereby if he wants to have sex, he knows that even when it's 8 o'clock at night, I would get her. Because with me, I really wanted to, but for the fact of me having to disrespect my mother, and my mother was a beater, everybody knew her in our place, that I will be beaten like nobody's business. Should I even attempt to try to do that thing? I normally see with my sisters who were already dating at the time, how difficult it was for them to date because of how strict my mother was. She set a line of rules that were very, very, very difficult for us. We were just those kids. We were not allowed to be in the streets whatsoever, not engage with other kids. She would tell you that your friends are the friends that you find in school. After school, you don't have a friend. You're a kid in this house. You need to make sure that the house is clean. So I decided, I remember then after that, we went to a funeral in Cape Town. My aunt passed on, so my mother wrote a letter to school and told them that I have to go to Cape Town because there's a funeral. And then at the airport, I remember at the airport we took a car. There's my uncle's car that took us to Johannesburg. From Johannesburg, that's where we took a plane. From Welcome to Johannesburg we went to Tambo we went to Cape Town. When I arrived at the airport, I was texting him saying that I miss him and stuff like that, not knowing that he's been arrested. I don't know, they accused him of stealing gold or something, but there's something that happened in the mine that was attached on his body that was not supposed to be there, and he was arrested. And I did not know that the girl had his phone. So all this time I think I'm talking to my Xhosa guy, and I'm not talking to my Xhosa guy, I am actually talking to her. So like I'm wondering, like, why is he so off? Because he was never ever offish with me. He never gave me the vibes and all those things, you know. So I was talking to this girl, and he was busy telling me that she was busy acting like it's the Xhosa guy, saying that I've moved on with my life, please move on. So now you can understand that at that funeral I am not happy. I'm not happy. On the phone when I'm in Cape Town. So I wasn't happy at all. Damn. I wasn't happy. So we came back. Came back from Cape Town. Flew down to Joburg. Then from Joburg we took a car to Free State where we live, and all I wanted to do was to go straight to his place. And when I arrived there, his brothers are there, his roommates, and like I am boiling. I want to give him a slap for just ruining my trip. It was already a funeral, and now you're already making me cry for a man and a dick. Because now you made me become so digmatized, and at the end of the day you want to throw me like I'm some bag of rotten potatoes. Never is the answer. I go there and I'm shaking. I knock on the door, and then these guys answer the door. All of them know me. I was going to end up doing. I will ubanjiwe because this and this at work. What he's one of the people that are accused rather of stealing. Hey Johnny, nyani njalo nje ndithi ngoku utheni. Now I'm concerned. Gogu kutheni ezophendula iphone if he's in jail? Is his phone not supposed to be confiscated? They're like, no, that girl has the phone, you know. I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. Nigga, bye. I don't want you anymore. But they're like, are you not gonna visit him? I'm like, dude, I'm a school kid. I'm not gonna go to any holding cells or whatever the case is and go and visit a boyfriend. What would my mother say if she finds that out? I'm not about that life. I'm not gonna do that. So like, okay, this is it. Because like now this girl is pretending as if the guy chose him. It's better if they even have each other, because I'm not even going to give him as much time as the girl is giving him, because my mother doesn't want me to be everywhere in this place. Okay. Then my sister was dating this other guy who used to be so lovely. Sean. So when my sister is dating Sean is friends with Lebohang. Lebohang is friends with the Xhosa guy, who I now no longer am interested in. Q. You call him Q. And Q has other friends. Then came this guy, B, who really liked me, and he was also cute and stuff. Now their friend is in jail. Lebohang had a tuck shop that I used to go to and just have chit chats with him and stuff like that. And this guy asked for my number, and I gave him my numbers. And Lebohang was like, this is Q's girlfriend. And I was like, no, not Q's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. He's like, oh, serious? I'm like, yeah, actually, you knew that he was dating the girl using the same name as me, and then they laughed because they knew. And then I started dating this guy. I'm just gonna keep it short, sweet, and simple. While dating this guy was doing the same thing that Q were doing, collecting me at school, buying me everything that I wanted and I needed, just being so romantic. And he was still in school himself, but in a technical school. You understand? So we used to fuck like nobody's business. Yo, Yeah, that's when I started to realize that there's a good one and there's a bad one. Because that one, while Q is in prison or wherever he is, I don't know the difference between prison and jail, but wherever. Me, now I was starting to learn how to do all these things that you can think of. Women on top, when I your doggy style, everything was like on the table. Take it. Woo! We used to do it to an extent that when I'm done and then he takes me home, I would scatter the books like I was reading the whole time. Can't you know I was getting a dick? Not even just an ordinary basic dick, a good one. So now this day, he collects me from school, we go to his place. We get on it. Now, while we on it, like while we at it rather, I hear something pops. You know, like something popped, and all of a sudden, I'm wet everywhere. And he's not pulling out. He keeps on going in. But with me, it's also nice. And I keep on wanting to take out this liquid. Now I'm embarrassed. I'm like, did I just pee? And he's also like not educated enough as far as sex is concerned. He doesn't know what happened. He's like, what is this? Like, now we're done. The whole bed is wet. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, yo, I should have stayed with my man that is in jail. None of this could have happened. This one is huge. And he's also, I don't know what he's thinking. He's like, no, man, don't worry about it. I'm like, oh my God. And I felt so embarrassed. Like, on the way to my house, I did not talk. I did not say a single word. And he was just normal. And I couldn't speak because I was embarrassed. And he's like, oh, man, I never experienced something like this before. But relax. We'll get through it together, whatever it is. I'm like, never. I'm never going to see you again. And we don't have WhatsApp at that time. We have Mixit. I'm like, I'm never going to this guy. So every time when I walk past him or whatever, or the second time, like now when he comes and collects me at school, I was so embarrassed. And he was telling me like, man, chill, relax. I actually asked my brothers about what happened, and I told them what happened. And they actually said I'm a lucky guy because I managed to make you squirt. So like, I'm looking at him like, what is that? And he's like, it's just when a woman is having this sensational feeling, they cannot control anything in themselves and they just let go. I'm like, so I did not pee? They said, technically you didn't pee, it's just squirting because like you were enjoying me. I was like, oh, okay. And I was relieved. So we went to his house again and we did it again. And I started now squirting. Like every time, like now I'm squirting. And now we're old enough and he is doing his thing and he's doing his thing. I still have his contact. We laugh about it. I'll be like, girl, are you a squirter? Are you a squirter? But I thought that I'm not a squitter. I thought that I like peed in the bed at that time. It was the most embarrassing moment of my life. God knows, true Bob. I just thought that it is like an embarrassing moment of my life. I didn't want anything to do with that situation anymore. And in Jenna, I was gonna want more. It's just that he was a womanizer. He loved a lot of girls and whatsoever. And I decided to pull out. But he gave me the best gift of knowing my body and knowing exactly where you need to touch, which buttons you need to press in order for me to be like the girl. So I'm very grateful for that and the fact that we're still friends. So I was very embarrassed, but at the end of the day, I felt relieved that everybody was like looking for a girl that knows how to do this type of things. Because now when my man came out from jail or whatever, man, I don't understand, prison, jail, holding cells, when he came back, I still went to him and he was shocked of the things that I could do that he failed to do when he was with me. And it was just like a goodbye sex that I gave him, and I gave him and I told him that it's over. You can go to my namesake and be with her. Me, I'm good. And that is the story time that I have for you today. Please make sure that you click on the notification button so that you're notified when a new video is posted. And also, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It's your girl D-I-N-K-Y, Dinky the Dinkinator, the mover, and the shaker, the vibe creator, the terminator, master of distraction, your best friend. Peace.